Hello guys, this is King Julian 1028 and I just wanted to do a little video to show my investigation deck that I have right now. It's pretty good. It normally mills out my opponent before they deal much damage to me. Yeah, that's really all I can say about it. It's not really as good as Owen's decks, but it's not that bad, and this is also cost me about $30 in all. So let's get started. We have my lands. I have 25 islands, pretty basic. So we have Downyard Explorer. I think it's a pretty good card. I mean, it investigates, which is the whole point of the deck, to have all investigation cards, and it's also a 2/4 for 4, I mean, which I don't think is that bad. It's not that great, but it's not that bad. It hasn't really failed me yet, so I'm okay with it. And then we have our Edwall Illuminator, and this one's pretty good. I like it because whenever you investigate for the first time each turn, investigate an additional time, so that's pretty good. And I have 2 of them, so I have a better chance of getting it. Yeah, that's really all I can say about that card. But then I have my Daring Sleuth, which I think is also a great investigation card. It doesn't have any investigate on its first turn, on its first side, but once you sacrifice a clue, you can transform it. Basically, you could do this all on one turn, transform it, and you're really paying 4. You can really pay 4 for a 3/2 prowess, and whenever it deals damage to a player, you get to investigate, which is really good. Especially if I could give it vigilance. Okay, and then we have my sorceries. Sorry about the gun missing image. We have press for answers. I have 3 of those. I was gonna have 4, but I decided to just go 3. Because it makes it so I can tap a creature and then untap, which is which is already great for a 2 costing spell. But then you have the investigate that just makes it better for my deck, especially with where when I investigate for the first time each turn, investigate an additional time. That goes great with that. Yeah, and then we have Gone Missing, which I also think is a good card, because let's say, that's for later why. I'm going to say later why I think that's a good card. But, it costs 5, put target's permanent on the top of one's library. Let's say somebody keeps getting too much mana. Well, you can use this to put that mana back on top, one of their mana back on top, and it makes it so that they can no longer, they'll keep getting mana more, and then let's investigate, which is really good on top of that. Then we have our instants. I have 3 Audacious Gruenty because its target creature gets -4, -0 until end of turn, which is a great card already for 2, and it's an instant, which is even better if they're attacking you with a 4/4 or something. It becomes 0 damage to you, and then you get to investigate. So let's say you did that to one of their creatures last turn, and so you can investigate twice. But now you're on to their turn. They attack you. You play that. You gotta investigate another time twice. Then we have Confirming Suspicion, which is a really good card. It costs a lot for a counterspell, but it's great because you can investigate 3 times. So then we have our Artifact and Enchantment. Ongoing Investigation. It's a good card because whenever you deal damage to them, you can investigate, which is good by itself. So let's say you have Ongoing Investigation, and then you have Daring Sleuth transformed, and then you have your investigate for the first time. You would deal damage to them, investigate one time, investigate another time because you investigated for the first time, and then you investigate again because of that card. So it's 3 investigations for 1 creature attacking. We have my enchantment. So let's say I casted that instant for it's the first time I investigated. Well, target creature gets -4. I get investigate twice because of that, and then I get investigate a 3rd time because it's an instant or sorcery. So then we have Fleeting Memories. So Fleeting Memories is a good card because it's when it enters the battlefield, you get Investigate already. So it's another investigation card. But when you sacrifice a clue, target player puts the top 3 cards of their library into his or her graveyard, which makes my deck a mill deck. That's why I have 4 of them. Because when I get 2 of them out, and with all the producing of investigation, which means producing of clues, it's really good. Because it means whenever I pay 2 to sacrifice a clue, I get a draw card, then my opponent mills 3, that's what it's saying. But if I have like 2 of them and my opponent mills 6 and I get a draw card, pay 2. But let's say somehow I got 4 of them, my opponent has sorry. Anyway, my opponent has to mill 12 cards for 2. And that's what really owns people. Like, I'll be milling them down slowly, and then I'll pull out a second Fleeting Memories. I'll ask them how many cards are in your library. They'll say, by the time I get a second one, because it's normally hard to get both of them, they'll say, I don't know, 30. Let's say, 30. Let's say 30. Well, and I can sacrifice 1 clue and pay 2 mana to mill them out 6. So I only need to sacrifice 5 clues, and by this time I have a bunch of mana, so probably after 2 turns of having 2 Fleeting Memories, they're milled out. Let's say they somehow have 60 cards. To mill them, by the time you get 2 of these down, to mill them out, you would only have to sacrifice 10 clues, which is really good. That's why I love Fleeting Memories. Then we have Tamiyo's Journal. 2 of those. Such a great card. Such a great card. You get a mill. You get to investigate at the beginning of your upkeep. It kind of takes away the other, like, casting spells on your turn to investigate for the first time with the other creature. Investigate for the first time with the other creature because you're already investigating. So basically, at your upkeep, you get 2 investigations. But then you can sacrifice clues. Of course, you don't actually get to pay 2 mana and sacrifice them, but you tap it, sacrifice 3 clues, and you get to search your library for any card and put it into your hand. So that's really, really, really good. Now with Gone Missing, I'm going to say what I like about Gone Missing. Gone Missing goes perfectly with Fleeting Memories. So let's say I return something onto their hand, and with 5 mana, because I probably have, like, let's say I have 7 mana, right? So then, it's on the top of their library. Let's say it's some really boss card. I don't know, like, a Jace. Okay, so then I put it on top of their library, and which is also, so I'm putting it on the top of their library, and then I'm milling them out 3 because I can just sacrifice a clue afterwards. So it's a 7 mana. I get to take out 1 card off the battlefield and then mill 2 of their cards, and I get to investigate. Seems really good to me. It's a really good combo like that. Now, these are my counter spells. I really added these up just to complete the deck. So it was a 65 card deck. Actually, I think this is 64, not 65. But, so I hear my dogs in the background. Okay, so you get 3 negates. So let's say they have played a Planeswalker or something, like maybe, like maybe a Jace. Okay, so you get 3 negates for that. You then have Scattering the Winds. So that'd be a really good card. So you can scatter to the winds, let's say, I don't know, any spell, like maybe, let's look at my creatures, like maybe a Downhearted Explorer, or something like that, or Daring Sleuth, I don't know. You can counter something, like, or maybe you want to counter another Planeswalker, Jace. Okay, so then you have 4 of those and 3 of those, so it's good for countering like that. You also have Awaken, so you can then pay extra mana to get some element on the battlefield, which is really good. Okay, so now it's time for my Planeswalker. So I have 2 Jaces Unraveling the Secrets. I would add a Tammy. Yeah, so +1's pretty good. Scry a card, then draw a card. That's good by itself. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Well, that's good. And then you got its emblem. Makes it perfect. Whenever your opponent casts their first spell, counter it. That is such a great ability. So basically, since we don't have many counters in the deck, only 7, that ultimate is basically protecting us while we're milling them out because we have a very low chance of killing them with these creatures. So while we're milling them out with fleeting memories and getting a bunch of investigation cards, because we have an infinite investigation producer with Tamio's journal. So let's say we sacked 3 clues, Tamio's journal, pulled out our Jace, placed it down. We made sure we had counter spells, protect the Jace for a while, and then after 3 turns, we ultimate it. And after 3 turns, we'll probably also have 3 more clues. We ultimate that, so we now have no Jace. We have 1 left in our deck, or maybe in our hand. We don't know. Well, I don't know right now. So we ultimate it. Now the first spell my opponent turns we counter. We only probably had to use about 4 of these counter spells, let's say, to protect it. So we have 1 negate and 2 scattering winds left. Scattering to the wind, sorry. So then we sack another 3 clues because 3 more turns. We probably have 3 more clues. Well, we do have 3 more clues. Tamio's journal. We actually should have 6 more clues. But anyway, so we sack 3 more. We pull out another Jace. We then pull out another Jace. Tap 3 and 2 to play it. So you tap 5, and then you just go straight to its +1 and scry a card and draw a card. But by the time you actually get both those Jace out, actually by the time it gets to the 5th turn, you're probably almost milled them out anyway, but it's still great just in case for late game. This is more of an early game deck. You're trying to get a lot of mana, and you're trying to keep them down right now. Anyway, okay, so I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, so, okay, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time in another video. Okay, bye.